Howdy fam, my name's Donald. Welcome to my channel. This is my first YouTube video like this. If you clicked on this video, I'm sure you're a fan of Wallace and Gromit, the claymation series. For those of you who don't know, Wallace and Gromit was created by Nick Park in 1989, debuting in A Grand Day Out. There's several short films, a feature-length movie, and a new one coming in 2024, so that's exciting. Wallace and Gromit has always been one of my favorites. Nick Park is a titan in the animation industry. I'm from San Diego, California, so I didn't get to watch Wallace and Gromit on the BBC like the Brits do. But my mom loves British television, so she introduced me to all the films when I was young. I remember building the plasticine rabbits from Curse of the Were-Rabbit, watching the DVD extras. To this day, everyone in my family still does the cheese Gromit gag, so it's safe to say I'm a true Wallace and Gromit stan. There's got to be a better way to describe a Wallace and Gromit fan. A Wallace head, a Gromit lover, Wensleydalian, the King of England? Anyway, I grew up making memes and researching the franchise, and I wanted to see what else the franchise had to offer. In 2018, I picked up a copy of Wallace and Gromit Project Zoo for the PS2, and it drew me to the other media section on Wikipedia. Video games, comics, and theater? At the time, I had no idea there was a Wallace and Gromit stage production. So this is my story unearthing the lost 1997 Wallace and Gromit play. When I found this entry on Wikipedia in 2018, it read only one line that blew my mind. In November 1997, the characters appeared in a play called Wallace and Gromit Alive on Stage in a Grand Night Out. Holy f***, real actors played Wallace and Gromit in a play? The only other time I was aware of a real people portraying Wallace and Gromit was the infamous cursed episode of the Lenny Henry Christmas Show, 1995. To this day, I cannot watch the skit in its entirety because of how scary the actors' prosthetic makeup looks. I became hell-bent to find any information about this stage production. The fact that there were no pictures online when you Googled Wallace and Gromit Alive on Stage made this a lost media treasure trove. One image I uncovered was the cover of the playbill. This playbill image was included on a woman's online review of the play from the 90s. She posted a personal blog and talked about her experience. For months, this was all I could find about the production until I found a newspaper review that had some info about the cast, the stars, and the director, Andrew Dawson. I searched up Andrew Dawson and found that he has an extensive career directing theater and English productions, and his site included an email address. So I took a stab at messaging him, and lo and behold, he replied. Andrew confirmed to me that yes, he was indeed the creator of the Wallace and Gromit stage play from 1997, and that he would be delighted to send me materials from the production. To go from "did this even happen" to "the director is mailing me rare Wallace and Gromit lost media" was surreal, to say the least. So Andrew, if you were watching, thank you for entertaining my weird Wallace and Gromit interests and helping me preserve these priceless artifacts. I received these materials in late 2018. I couldn't believe what I now had in my possession. Playbills, programs, bookmarks, ephemeral papers, and a physical model of the set? Let's go through these pieces one by one, shall we? Okay, one of my favorite parts about this set is the publicity photos. So here we have Wallace and Gromit and Wendeline in their costumes. And you can see the costume team did a really good job putting these together. Wallace is almost like a Sherlock evening detective look, and Gromit is looking surprised. Wendeline has these facial prosthetics for their noses and her hair. It turned out really great for a small stage show. Here's one of the entire team here, and this is the director, Andrew Dawson. Here we actually have Shaun the sheep as well. And this is a great set on a stairwell. It almost looks like the stairwell in Wallace's workshop. You can see the Feathers McGraw up there. Frightening. But it's a great shot of the team. Here's a great one of Feathers McGraw. Now this is the most menacing shot with the knife. This actress really sells it in her eyes here. She's gonna be the villain. Great shot of Feathers McGraw there. Okay, the next one here is of Wallace and Gromit together. You see Wallace sitting on his chair there with his slippers. One thing the costume team really got right was his vest here. I'd say that looks exactly like the films, that big wool sweater, and his nice slippers here. And you see a little bit of the set, their wallpaper in the background. Maybe this is close to their workshop. Here's a good one of them together. You see his nose from the side. It's a lot better than the Lenny Henry show. I'm glad they didn't do a whole face prosthetic. They just opted just for the nose. So, smart choice for them. Here's a good one of Wallace looking very interested in Wendeline here. Tugging at his tie with his eyebrows raised. He fancies her quite a bit, and she's got this hilarious hair prosthetic, but it looks just like the film, so it was probably worth it, especially for the audience on stage. You need to have those exaggerated costumes. This is a great shot of them together. Those actors really did a great job selling those expressions. And the last one here is a great group shot on the stairwell here. Almost Shakespearean here. Wallace at the top leading everyone up, and Wendeline behind him. Shaun the sheep behind with Gromit and Feathers McGraw. Okay, here's the program with this incredible logo for Wallace and Gromit on stage. They have the drama masks, like comedy and tragedy. And just love that gold look to it. And on the back, they have an ad for the Wallace and Gromit and the Lost Slipper comic. Pretty incredible here. I have a comic book of this at home as well. So we'll open it up here. And you see some local ads here. And the beginning of the program. Peacock Theater. Sadler Wells presents a John Gore production. Wallace and Gromit alive on stage in a grand night out. Conceived and written by Andrew Dawson. Inspired by triple Oscar winner Nick Park. So you see some of the other folks involved with it. First performance at Sadler Wells, Peacock, November 25th, 97. So keep that date in mind, November 25th, 97. That'll come back around. Here we have a little bit about Nick Park. And when he spoke to Andrew Dawson to conceive the play. Speak a little bit about his other plays, The Thunderbirds, and his mime history. You see a little bit of those Thunderbirds there. I won't go through the whole Q&A, but I'll post the PDFs in the description box below. See a little bit more about them conceiving the play, working on it here for the Thunderbirds too. Here's some Wallace and Gromit conception art for the slippers. And the cast of the play: Wallace Paul Filipiak, Gromit Russ Edwards, Wendeline Joyce Henderson, Shaun the Sheep, Mark Otto Hollander, and the Penguin. They didn't have Feathers McGraw named yet. The Penguin is Angela Clerkin, and conceived and written by Andrew Dawson. Some more great art here on the bottom. And here's the machine that plays a role in the play. Some concept art, some more of the folks who worked for John Gore Productions. And continuing that conversation with Nick Park. Looks like this was about the upcoming Close Shave, or the recently filmed Close Shave, 95. Some more conversation. I have a good tidbit there. Gromit was originally the name of a cat in another story. I'm glad they kept him a dog. Right here. Interesting invention concepts. There's a great series called Cracking Contraptions that Wallace and Gromit star in. Here's a little bit more about Peter Lord, David Sproxton, some of the other Aardman studio heads, some of the other productions they've put together. They've done a ton of advertising work with their plasticine. Some of their other characters are Morph, the Creature Comforts. Some of the more recent ones are the Chicken Run and Flushed Away. Some special thanks from the Aardman Animation. Some more about the cast. Incredible that this man is Gromit. I wish I could have seen it. It's funny they only have Feathers McGraw listed as the Penguin. They didn't have Feathers McGraw name yet. Some more about the cast and the team. A little bit more about Nick Park, Bob Baker. And this looks like some more local English theatrical productions. Some ballet. We recently saw the Nutcracker, so getting into that Christmas season. And this is the larger color program. See some more credits for the team that put it together and some local ads. Great piece, this one here. Okay, the next one is the program. I think this is a newsprint version. It's black and white. And you see here this great graphic with Feathers is out. So by this time, they had Feathers McGraw named. This must have been named in the process. You see some copyright info. Wallace and Gromit, Aardman Animations. And the mention of the Thunderbirds. Trademark a polygram here. So I'm probably going to skip through this one a little faster. I think it's a lot of the same information as the color program. You see here, program design and printed by John Good Holbrook. Yeah, excerpt from an interview with Nick Park about a close shave, some of the same content. This may have been a little bit later. It's a great picture there. Some more about the Thunderbirds and Andrew Dawson. Some of these same photos in the color program. Here's that great image again of the masks with the cast and a grand night out. Some more that same information about the cast. I'd love to reach out to the cast and do an interview. I've reached out to the director, Andrew, who provided this information to me. He shipped it out to me from England. And I just got to connect with him. If he's watching, love to interview Andrew. He's got a fabulous career with the Thunderbirds, Three Musketeers, a whole host of other productions. A little bit more about those same people who put it together. This one reads some more about the Autumn Tour, 97. I believe this only ran one time for one showing, or a couple showings in 97, but one run in 97. They didn't keep it going. And some more of those local ads here. So this is a lot of same info as the color program, but very cool graphic here on the front. Okay, the next few are going to be the small poster with that same graphic. The masks, tragedy and comedy mask with Wallace and Gromit. Love that image in gold. And it's got some of the info about the play, A Grand Night Out, Andrew Dawson, and some more on the back, some quotes. Some more about the cast and the crew, and some of the dates of the performance. Plasticine heroes, played by actors playing plasticine heroes. It's a great tagline there. So it's a great little poster, leaflet for the production. Love this piece. I'm so surprised these have lasted since 1997. This is a little leaflet cutout with that same graphic. Feathers is out. And it's almost a little bit bigger than a bookmark, but it's something you'd maybe put on someone's desk or something to promote the production. And I just love this cutout style. Got a lot of great information on here. Some great quotes. Best family show I've seen in a long time, from the Manchester Evening News. Hilarious slapstick. And all these performance locations. Wish I could have been around at the time in England. I was 1 year old, so I didn't get a chance to be a part of this. So thank you to Andrew Dawson for sending this over. This one is a postcard with that great graphic. This one's a little different with the Thunderbirds team on the homepage. They want to get people to connect the dots. People who saw the Thunderbirds with Andrew Dawson may want to see the Wallace and Gromit production. And got some great info here. I'll read this one. Can you imagine? Can you imagine it? They said we were going to be famous, but who would have thought? Our very own stage show in a real theater. While that nice Mr. Park is very busy making a big movie. At the time, I think he was working on Chicken Run 2000. He's making a big movie. We shall be treading the boards. Another nice man, Mr. Andrew Dawson, he of Thunderbirds on stage fame, one of Gromit's all-time favorites, has asked us if we would like to star in our very own theatrical extravaganza. The smell of the grease paint, the roar of the crowd, it's a marvelous opportunity. Gromit didn't seem too keen at first, but then I caught him secretly reading his latest book, Method Acting for Dogs, behind his morning paper. So we are both really looking forward to being alive in front of a real live audience for the first time. Hope to see you there. Love from Wallace and Gromit. P.S. It'll be a grand night out. So you have to imagine Peter Salas's voice reading all that on this little postcard here, and a great graphic in the corner, live on stage. So here is the postcard for the production, and the last piece is pretty special as well. This is an invitation card that was addressed to a Jenny King and a guest, and they have some interesting tidbits here. We were talking about November 25th earlier. That comes back around here. Afterwards, at 62 West Wallaby Street in the Waldorf Hotel to celebrate Nick Park receiving his CBE, Tuesday, 25th of November, 1997. So the CBE was granted by Queen Elizabeth II, the British knighthood, and it looks like this live production of the Wallace and Gromit stage show coincided with the ceremony, and we still have the invitation to Jenny King. So thank you to Andrew Dawson for sending that over and saving this piece of Wallace and Gromit history. Okay, this is the coolest piece of the set. This is a model of the stage. And you can see the exterior here. It looks almost like Wallace's spaceship in A Grand Day Out, or kind of like a stage car, maybe a VW bus. You can see here all the way around that it is a model that is very delicate, put together with tape from the 90s. That the director and the stage crew used as the basis of the set decoration. And they have a top here that would have been for the stage lights. You can see the lights would hang from there during the production. And we'll open it up. So I'm sure the audience would walk in and it'd be like this. Maybe they open it up in the middle of the show. We'll just have to speculate. But here is the full interior of the set model. You can see the curtains on the top, and they have two sort of corners for the different scenes of the production. They probably have a scene over here. This may be a kitchen linoleum floor for a kitchen scene. And maybe over here, this is a living room set or something else like that. So you could see the stage. Pretty interesting layout. Have a couple of different scenes that the actors would jump to. But this is a great piece of Wallace and Gromit history. Okay, that does it for the collection of the Wallace and Gromit Alive on Stage in a Grand Night Out collection sent to me from the director Andrew Dawson. So thanks everyone for watching. Merry Christmas!
And the Wallace and Gromit collection includes videos, books, an audio cassette and a CD-ROM. And they're all available now.